Welcome everybody to Sporting Logically. Today we're going to be talking about some of the ugliest shooting forms in NBA history that also happen to be effective. So the way we're going to do this is I'm going to split these up into two different categories. The first of which are going to be hip shooters, guys that generally bring the ball down from their waist all the way back up towards their head before they shoot. Our first hip shooter is going to be Kevin Martin. Now this is a guy that some people may have forgotten about, but in his prime he was really known as one of the most efficient scorers in the league and even led the NBA in free throws made in the 2010-11 season. For his career, he averaged over 17 points per game, shot over 38% from three, and in 3 of his seasons, he shot over 40% from three. And he was able to do this despite a shot that, in my opinion, is just absolutely awful to look at. He brings it up from like near his hip, leaves it out in front of his body as if he's asking for the defender to take it away. And because of that, I can't honestly believe he was able to ever get off very many shots with such a low release point. But, I mean, he made it work for himself, but it's definitely an ugly release. Our second hip shooter and only active player on this list is going to be Eric Gordon. Now this guy, for his career, is averaging over 16 points per game and over 37% from three. He obviously won the 2017 Sixth Man of the Year award, and in the 14-15 season with the Pelicans, he shot nearly 45% from three on over 5 attempts per game. And really, when he's healthy, this guy is known as a great scorer across the league because he adds that quickness and ability to attack the rim to his already deadly shooting stroke. But for me, it's really strange how good his shooting stroke is because of how ugly it looks. Now, in my opinion, his shot is not as ugly as Kevin Martin's, but it's still not great to look at. He brings it down from his waist, brings it up really to in front of his forehead, and again, just another guy with kind of a low release point, and it's really unbelievable that he's able to get off or make any contested shots. But again, just another guy that really makes it work and is known as one of the better shooters in the league currently. Our third and final hip shooter is going to be Matt Bonner. Now, this guy is a 2-time NBA champion with the Spurs and is currently the 14th ranked player in terms of career three-point field goal percentage at 41.4%. He led the league in three-point percentage in the 2010-11 season, shooting nearly 46% on 3.5 attempts per game. And he shot over 40% from three in 8 of his 12 seasons. Now, in my opinion, in terms of the hip shooters, Matt Bonner's release is the least ugly, if that's even how you would phrase that. But the problem that I have is that he brings the ball up like right in front of his chin, and it's almost like he needs to move his head out of the way so that the ball doesn't actually hit his chin. Now again, he's a guy that's been very successful in that spot up role with the Spurs. He started his career with the Raptors, and again, the amount of times that he has shot over 40% in his career is incredible, as is his career three-point field goal percentage. So he clearly makes it work, but in my opinion, it's not very pretty to look at. Now we're moving on to our second category, the over-the-shoulder boulder throwers. Say that 3 times fast. So our first person in the over-the-shoulder boulder throwers category is going to be Michael Redd. Now this guy averaged 19 points per game for his career, shot 38% from three, had 2 different seasons in which he shot over 43% from the three-point line, and also represented the U.S. Olympic team in Beijing in 2008. He hit 8 threes in the fourth quarter in February of 2002 against the Rockets, which at the time was an NBA record. Now, my problem with Redd's form, as well as with the other person's form on this list, is really the ball just like gets catapulted from over their shoulder. Now, his isn't as bad as the next person on the list, but he swings the ball up from the shooting pocket to the side of his head, flings it backward and then forward. And my thing is that there's so much movement involved that it's a wonder that he's able to keep it so consistent and make as many shots as he does. But for me, this one is definitely an ugly one to look at. Our second over-the-shoulder boulder thrower is going to be Derek Fisher. Now, Fisher is a 5-time NBA champion with the Lakers and shot over 37% from three in his career. He also shot over 38% from three in 10 of his seasons. Now, obviously, Fisher's shot is very similar to Redd's because they're in the same category, as they really just fling the ball towards the rim, but Fisher's is a lot more over his shoulder rather than a little bit higher the way Redd's is. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you liked it, please be sure to leave a like rating down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say down in the comments about another few shooters in NBA history that were good shooters, but the release was just ugly to look at. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. I would love it if you would subscribe to the channel so you can see more videos just like this, and I will see all you guys next time.